Minglaba, welcome to Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zin. We've got the latest news and reports. We're going to hear stories from our reporters on the 73rd Union Day of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar. For some of us who are striving for peace, we have a report on Peace Forum at Arts Hall of Yangon University. A story coverage on literary talk show for the centenary celebration of Yangon University. We'll definitely get to the reports in a while, but before that, let's take a look at local news. President of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, U Win Myint, sent a message of greetings on the 73rd Anniversary Union Day on Wednesday. The president extends his good wishes for peace and auspiciousness to the people residing in the Union through weal and woe on the auspicious occasion. He continued to say that in striving for the national reconciliation and peace, the government has already signed the nationwide ceasefire agreement with 10 ethnic armed organizations. Through the political dialogues, the Union Peace Conference 21st Century Panglong has been successfully held for 3 times, gaining common agreement. The 51 points of agreements that are necessary for building a democratic federal union have been achieved as parts of the Union Accord. The union spirit is based on the collective strength of all national brethren. If peace and stability prevail across the nation, all regions will be developed while supporting more life security and socio-economic development of the entire ethnic nationals. The president also called for the collective efforts for the entire people to join hands with the government in respective sectors for ensuring the prevalence of law and order, fair judiciary system, safety and security of the citizens. A ceremony to mark the 73rd anniversary of Union Day was held in Panglong of Shan State on Wednesday with an opening speech by State Councillor Aung San Suu Kyi. It's a day of remembrance for those who signed the Panglong in 1947, but also a hopeful reminder for those participating and following the 21st century Panglong. The 12th February, portraying the unity and solidarity of all ethnic nationals, was designated as the Union Day. Today, in striving for the national reconciliation and peace, the government has already signed the nationwide ceasefire agreement with 10 ethnic armed organizations. Through the political dialogues, the Union Peace Conference 21st Century Panglong has been successfully held for 3 times, gaining common agreement. The 51 point of agreements that are necessary for building a democratic federal union has been achieved as parts of the Union Accord. The bronze statue of Bojo Aung San will be unveiled on his birthday at the Yangon roundabout in Naypyidaw. To mark the birthday of Bojo, Information and Public Relations Department of Ministry of Information set up a display room Wednesday near the Yangon roundabout. The photographs on display reflect the different phases of Bojo's life: student, Damador man with 30 comrades, political, family life and foreign visits of Bojo Aung San. The features of the show include his handwritings, excerpts from his speeches and the books and poems about him. The display room was crowded with visitors on Wednesday and it will be opened until Friday evening. That's all with the local news, and here's the first report on Myanmar Today. 12th of February was the 73rd Union Day of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, which was celebrated across the country. The grand celebration for the Union Day also took place in Yangon. Chief Minister of Yangon Region Government, U Myint, and concerned officials attended the celebration. In the message of greetings sent by the president, he shared his belief that with collective efforts, a true democratic federal union can be established for all ethnic nationals. Yena and Pieteng report.
12 February 2020 is the 73rd Union Day of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, which is celebrated across the country. The grand celebration for the Union Day also took place in Yangon. The 73rd Union Day celebration held at Mahapanula Park in Yangon was attended by U Myint, Chief Minister of Yangon Region Government, Speaker of Yangon Region Ludo, governmental and departmental officials, Tamil officials, Ludo representatives, ethnic cultural organizations, students, and invited guests. In the ceremony, Chief Minister U Myint read out the message of greetings on the occasion of the 73rd Union Day sent by President U Win Myint. The president shared his belief that in collective effort, a true democratic federal union can be established for all ethnic nationals.
In our union, all the ethnic nationals are living together in harmony with the union spirits. So we must work together to preserve the cultures and customs of all the nationals and to have equal opportunity and social development of all the nationals. I firmly believe that when there is no doubt or mistrust among our ethnic nationals, we can strengthen the national unity and national reconciliation, which can result in establishment of a true democratic federal union.
In the message, the president also said that the constitution is vital for a nation, so all the nationals must keep on striving to adopt a constitution which is in accordance with the standards and fundamental principles of the democracy and which is relevant to the context and objectives of the nation. Mam Nhin Sein, member of Yangon Region Kenyan Literature and Cultural Committee, said,
We believe that building peace within the nation is the responsibility of all nationals, and we have to work in unity for that. This is a must for our country to be able to stand high in the world. Otherwise, all our generations, the nation's next generations, will be left behind. We have to make changes in all aspects. Especially, we have to make sure the reform of the current constitution to build the democratic federal union. The government is also trying to do so.
According to the message of President Uyghur, the present government has formulated the national policy for the implementation of peace process by taking it as the main priority. Peace is believed to be critical for the nation's development, sustainability of democracy, resolve for the internal armed conflicts, and achievement of sustainable peace. U Aung Naito, Yangon Region Ludo representative of the Lin Township constituency 2, said,
We have to work in unity based on the current context, which are getting better. This is the time to have face-to-face discussions to find a solution for the inclusion in the peace process. Inclusivity is important for the ethnic nationals to show how they are representing and what they are working for their ethnic groups. This is the best time to prove their efforts to all nationals.
Myanmar was occupied by colonialists for more than 100 years, and the independence was regained by sacrificing the lives, blood, and sweat of the nationals for many years. General Aung San and the leaders of the national races signed the historic Penlong Agreement on 12 February 1947 to prove the unity of all nationals with the purpose of gaining independence in both mainland and hilly regions. This is the significant effort in achieving the independence, so 12 February is regarded as the Union Day, and the government of all years has been celebrating the Union Day as grand ceremony.
That's a report on the 73rd Union Day of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar. All right, now, we all know the world is faced with a global health crisis right now, the novel coronavirus that originated from the city of Wuhan in China. And so our team reached out to Shu Qingtuo, one of the senior journalists of China Media Group, who's in Beijing, and we're going to have a chat with him and get some updates on what's happening in the city. So, Mr. Xu, since the holidays are over, what is the current situation about employees going back to the workplace?
On the so-called work from home, there are, it's up to different industries. For example, for some of the service industry, it's very difficult to work at home. For example, delivery man, woman, and you have to be there. You have to receive the goods, and then you deliver the goods at the different parts of the city, different parts of the country. And for restaurants, you have to be there instead of working at home. But for industries like education and for the office work, certainly you can work at your home. You can have these online classes for a lot of Chinese students, college students, primary school students, middle school students. It's very easy for them to host such conference-like classes because the infrastructure is very strong and everybody is hooked up with the Wi-Fi system. Some parts of the country is already using 5G service. So the transmission of data is very easy. In that sense, you can see for some companies even, the resumption of work is only partial, like 15% of their workforce will start work this week, but for the rest of them, some of them will work at home as long as it's possible for them, technically workable. They will do so probably in order to reduce the exposure as much as possible.
All right, we now understand there's some resumption of work, but not entirely. And to focus on that, how are the resumptions of workplaces in China? Can you tell us or give us an estimated figure?
On the resumption of our business operation, the official start date is Monday this week. But if you look at the figures on the ground, I would say it's a partial resumption. For example, the number of passenger trips on Saturday was about 1.27 million, which was a plunge of 85% year on year. And if you look at the number on Sunday, it's about 2 million trips.
Okay.
So that represents a decrease by 82% compared to the number a year ago. So in general, that's a partial resumption of operation. And if you look at some of the factories, for example, the auto factories, for example, some of them is only 15%.
Right.
15% of their workforce will come back and start the work. And then the rest of them will either continue to be isolated at home or to work from home. For some industries like the courier service and medical supply producer, and also the facility, like the electricity and the water plants, they have resumed the work completely in order to maintain the normal function of the society.
Okay, so there's about 15% of the workforce returning to work while some work from home. What are the preparations needed to welcome the employees back to work? What measures should be taken by industries and companies?
The preparation for the comeback of employees to the cities mostly, there's a clear requirement on the government side for any factory. If they want to resume operation, my understanding is they have to reach a certain standards. For example, you have to have the precautions for your employees to make sure your whole company, including all your employees, will be able to access to enough masks to protect themselves, and also disinfectant to make sure the workplace or the office will be clean, will be safe, and other protective gears. So if you reach that standard, and then the government will give you a pass to have your factory resume as soon as possible. And of course, for some of the factories, they would delay their resumption of work simply for another week. For example, I think Alibaba is not going to work, their work is not going to start this week, but by next week. And for other factories, for example, Tesla factory in Shanghai, they resumed their work this Monday. And other factories, probably another week. For example, I think that Volkswagen or General Motors, those auto factories, so they want to resume their work as soon as possible, but at the same time, they are trying to strike a balance in making sure the workers will be safe. At the same time, their supply chain will be that much disrupted by the virus.
Okay, and what are the impacts on China's economy because of employees coming back to work late?
Well, the impact on the businesses, again, it varies from business to business, from industry to industry. If it's, some of the work might not be that much affected by the spread of the virus. For example, education, because basically you can set a schedule and you can start the work, and also you can assign the homework to your students. It's not a big deal in a sense, because it's easy to handle in terms of the availability of the technology. And also for some industries, it's very difficult. You have to have the people on the ground and work even manually. So you have to have the workforce available in order to start this, full operation of your business.
Right.
So, for example, in other industries that could be seriously affected. For example, restaurants. We know if the Asian way of having lunch or dinner with your friends, with your family members. Usually, it's a big table. You have a group of people sharing the same dishes. In that way itself, people are being kept in close contact with each other. So there is a possibility of being infected simply for joining the dinner or the lunch. There's one case in Hong Kong because 9 people had a dinner in Haidilao, a very popular hotpot in China, and none of them all caught this virus. So that sent the share prices of Haidilao down by 7%. So you can see the restaurants like that, their businesses are being impacted to a large degree, I would say greatly, because individually few people would dare to go to the restaurants to have lunch, have dinner. At the most, you would order a delivery at your door. You pick it up and you open up, and then you wash your hands before you started to eat to avoid any possible contact with the virus. So in that sense, yes, the restaurants is one of industries that's being severely hit hard by the coronavirus.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Xu. That's plenty of information you gave us. That was Mr. Xu Qingduo, a senior journalist from China Media Group. We're back to our reports now, and we'll check on the stocks and currency exchange rates after this report. Peace and security are essential for everyone and critical to society because it affects the social and economic development of the country. And so, the Peace Forum was held at the Arts Hall of Yangon University. The current situation of peace opportunities and challenges are also the youth empowerment in the peace process is focused on the discussion. Pomo and Soyadana will tell us more.
Peace process has been a serious issue in different periods of history and also a major problem in international relations. Peace and security is essential for human life and critical to society because it affects the social and economic development of a country. A country can develop and grow economically with peaceful coexistence among its peoples and within its borders. Building peace and adequate security involves a wide range of efforts by diverse actors in government and civil society at the national and international levels to address the causes of violence and ensure that people have freedom from fear of humiliation and conflicts. For the peace process, Peace Forum was held at Arts Hall of Yangon University on 8 February. The forum was jointly organized by Center Development of Ethnic Studies (CDES) and Yangon Region Youth Affairs Committee (YRYAC). The discussions are brought to the audiences by the experts. Topics focused on the current situations of peace, opportunities, and challenges, and also the youth's empowerment in peace process. Dr. Lian Monsa Kao, Vice President of Union Peace Dialogue Joint Committee (UPDJC) said.
Three main decisions in last JICM Joint Implementing Coordination meeting. Firstly, we'll focus on NCA and the editing of frameworks if needed. Secondly, we will organize more of peace talks. We chose what topics we're going to discuss with the government. We have upcoming appointments with the government on February 16th, 17th, and 18th. Thirdly, we are organizing another Union Peace Conference on April. There are still armed conflicts in places that decline to sign NCA. To stop the conflict and to solve the political problems in political ways, they need to sign the NCA, and democracy and federal principles should be stipulated.
Youths are actively joining in their communities to make positive contributions to peace. They are feeling they are excluded from political process as their roles are important in peace rebuilding. Thap Paing So, National Representative of YRYAC, said how the youths have been taking responsibilities.
NCA လက်မှတ်ထိုးထားတဲ့အထက်မှာပြီးတော့မှဒီ UPDJC မှာရောပေါ့နော်ဒုဥက္ကဋ္ဌနဲ့တာဝန်ယူပြီးတော့မှဆောင်ရွက်နေတဲ့အခါကျတော့ဒီဆရာတို့ရဲ့ဒီဆောင်ရွက်မှုမှာကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီရန်ကုန်တိုင်းမှာသူတို့ကတော့မလုပ်ဘူးငြိမ်းချမ်းရေး forum ကအဲ့တော့ကျွန်တော်တို့နဲ့ပူးပေါင်းဆောင်ရွက်တဲ့အခါမှာကျွန်တော်တို့ကအဲ့ဒါနဲ့
The main plans of YRYAC concerning with the peace process can be divided into two parts, the process and activities. As for the process, we take part as observers in Union Peace Conference 21st Century Penlong. And for the activities, we organize peace talks. People don't know the duration of peace and reconciliation process and when it will end. On the other hand, youths have to take responsibilities in such goals of achieving peace in the future. So we have to make sure that youths understand what has been done and what youth should continue. There are peace processes which are succeeded and some are still on the process. Youths can have different ideas and point of views on such issues, so we want the government to focus on youth voices and also people's voices.
The nationwide ceasefire agreement (NCA) is the agreement between the government of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar and the ethnic armed organizations which focuses on the enduring peace on the principles of dignity and peace.
That's a report on the Peace Forum at Arts Hall of Yangon University. With the purpose to celebrate the centenary of Yangon University, the Teachers Association of Yangon University organized a 3-day-long centenary ceremony which started on Tuesday, which includes different kinds of literature and poems-related events held near the iconic over 100-years-old Thipok tree. David Henry has the details.
The University of Yangon, which is located in Kamayut, Yangon, is the oldest university in Myanmar's modern education system and the best-known university in Myanmar. The university has been celebrating its centenary in different kinds of forms by a variety of associations and people within the university. As part of the celebration, Yangon University Teachers Association organized a 3-day-long centenary ceremony in which there will be different kinds of literature and poems-related events holding near the iconic over 100-years-old Thipok tree. We will find out more about the Day 1's event, which is the literary talk show from Dr. Zomyuton, Joint Secretary of the Yangon University Teachers Association.
ဒီပွဲကတော့ဘောနော်ကျွန်တော်တို့နှစ်တရာပြည့်လည်းဖြစ်တယ်ပေါ့နော်ဒီနှစ်ကရန်ကုန်တက္ကသိုလ်နှစ်တရာပြည့်ဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဆရာတက်မကလည်း ဘာလို့ရင်ကောင်းမလဲပေါ့စဉ်းစားရင်းနဲ့
As this event is the part of the celebration for the centenary of our Yangon University, it is such a special obligation for us, Yangon University's Teachers Association, to organize this. The idea behind this event, and especially because literary talk show has been initiated by the chairman of the association, Dr. Nan Nui, as he has a great connection with literature writers as well as poets, and as we built up the idea around it. We decided it as a great idea and started to manage around it. There will be 4 authors in this literature talk show, consisting of Sia Tisani, Sia Ayo, Sia Mountainzo, Matora Ele. The literary talk show will have no agendas on what the speakers want to speak. We give them freedom of speech in order to let them share the students their personal authentic experience, which a student can learn from and understand the meaning of what each of the speakers have in their mind.
ဆရာတက်မကအနေနဲ့အဲ့လိုလုပ်ခွင့်ရအတွက်အရန်ပဲဂုဏ်ယူပါတယ်ပြီးတော့လည်းဒီထက်လည်းပိုကောင်းတဲ့ပွဲတွေဒီတစ်နှစ်လုံးရှိအောင်မှာဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ထပ်ပြီးတော့စဉ်းစားပြီးတော့ကောင်းတဲ့ပွဲလေးလုပ်မယ်လို့စိတ်ကူးထားပါတယ်
Sayadisani also told MI Radio for his perspective of this literary talk show and what he thinks about Yangon University.
ကျောင်းတွေမှာလည်းအရင်ကလည်းပြောခဲ့ပြီးပါတယ်။ဒါဆိုရင်ခေါ်ပြောပွဲတော့သိမလိုက်ဘူးဒီလိုတီးတန့်ပွဲမျိုးလေးတွေတော့ပြောတယ်။ကျန်တဲ့
As most of the people know, I rarely participate in typical literary talk shows. It is because the audience is too diverse and versatile, which I'm not really into. But this time I decided to talk in this show with the topic named as freedom, because I would like to target the audience of this talk show, which I believe is the university students. With the topic of freedom, I will be talking about the dilemma in this generation of youths with freedom and the strict nature of parents. I will be discussing about how the generation gaps that we're having right now with the youths in this generation and how we could possibly understand each and work out for the best. With that said, as we all know the prestigious pride that Yangon University holds on, I really hope I could give a great message to the students of this generation to hold on to that greatness of the university with them.
အဲ့တော့ freedom နေခြင်းနဲ့စားခြင်းနဲ့အဲ့တော့အဲ့ဒီလူငယ်နဲ့လွတ်လပ်မှုပြဿနာပေါ့နော်အဲ့တော့ဒါလည်း generation gap ပေါ့မျိုးဆက်ကွာမှုပြဿနာ
I have also interviewed Sia Ayu, one of the speaker on the literary talk show, for what he will be talking about in the talk show and how he felt about the university turning 100 years old.
Especially to the aims of age of 20 and under 40 aim to prepare, and I like to know them about some kinds of another way to how we live the world and how we have to prepare for our future world and individual life to development. That's the aims I prepare for this literature talk show. And the 100th anniversary of Yangon University's that means a lot of meaning for me because I'm different from other people. Because I'm live in this university as long as since I'm 10 and 12 because of my mother is professor. So the meaning of universities for me is it's mean beautiful things, a lot of beautiful things for me and a lot of meaningful happiness happen for me.
Reporter David Tanner reporting from Myanmar International Radio.
That's a report on the literary talk show for the centenary celebration of Yangon University. Well, that's all the reports on Myanmar Today. You know, the world is constantly hit by natural disasters and faced with health crises like virus outbreaks, climate change at its peak, animals dying at an alarming rate, and things are escalating so quickly that I believe we should start doing something to save the only planet we live in. And to keep up with what's happening around the world, let's take a turn to some international news now on Myanmar Today. Chinese President Xi Jinping called on party committees and governments at all levels to work hard to win the battle against the new coronavirus pneumonia, while striving to achieve this year's economic and social development goals. The president said stronger measures should be taken to contain the virus, especially in areas with severe or high risks, as the fight has entered a crucial stage. He said since the outbreak of the epidemic, all regions and all parties have dedicated themselves to the fight, with medical staff working hard at the front lines. He once again called for efforts to place people's health and safety as the top priority. The 14th person has been diagnosed with the novel coronavirus or COVID-19 in the U.S. on Wednesday, according to the country's Centers for Disease Control. The patient, who is in California, was evacuated recently from central China's Wuhan city and had been under a 14-day federal quarantine. The CDC said a previous coronavirus case was reported a few days earlier among the same group of evacuees. Jean-Pierre Raffarin, former Prime Minister of France, has sent his best wishes for China's battle against the novel coronavirus by video. He believes that the Chinese government's strong mobilization capacity and the tremendous energy of the Chinese people will make China succeed in fighting the coronavirus eventually.
Mon message est un message d'amitié pour le peuple chinois, dont je connais le courage, la capacité dans l'épreuve, le travail, les efforts. C'est aussi un message de confiance. Je sais que votre mobilisation derrière vos autorités, avec cette énergie populaire, vous permettra de terrasser ce coronavirus. Oran Tiado.
Well, that's a wrap, and thanks for joining me on Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zin. Take good care of your health and remember to wash your hands frequently. Practice good hygiene and drink lots of water. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.